Morning, Nigel. What are the main takeaways from Saturday's 3-1 defeat at home to Huddersfield?
Similar to what we said after the game, really. Don't give the ball away in poor areas. And there's nothing at all you can do about deflections. You're talking a few inches. They get a full block on, or if it misses them altogether, Liam saves the two shots comfortably, and everything comes from there. You concede 3 in the first 15 minutes, and obviously the first one we're down to 10 men again because Jamie's been fouled. And we should still, we still got to defend better with the 10 men. But when you think about it, 2 deflections, how many do you get in a season, I don't know, but we've had one, I think, with George Maris against Harrogate, where we were a bit fortunate. But the one at Northampton last week, the first goal, flicked off Nathan Mariah Welsh's studs and deceived Liam. And then to get 2 within 10 minutes on Saturday, both significant deflections as well. Been a good week with George Maris getting injured, putting his boots on in the gym, losing Reece Oates, Max Dickoff on the Friday, twisting his ankle. You have these little spells where 5 or 6 days it feels as though the world's against us.
What's the latest with Max Dickoff? You said after Saturday that he twisted his ankle. Any particular time frame on when he might return?
He's the best out of them all in terms of hopefully a couple of weeks. But it did swell up quite a bit and bruising came out the next day. So we've got the reserve game at Derby today that he's not obviously won't feature in. But we're hoping he might be all right for the FA Cup.
Reece Oates came off with a tight hamstring. How's he today?
Yeah, it's still sore. He's had a scan. We're just waiting for the results of it. But we think it'll be a few weeks. And again, just so unlucky because we were ready to make the 4 subs and at 3-0 down. And then we got the goal back. So we literally said, let's give it a few more minutes because we're having a good spell. We've got the momentum. We might get another one back. And he did it in that 3-minute spell before we could, after we'd scored the goal. If we hadn't scored the goal, he'd have come off and he'd have been fine now, which we would have preferred. Nothing you can do about it. It's not as if it's 80-odd minutes into the game. It's 60-odd minutes. He hadn't felt anything before. He's been fantastic for the last few weeks. No sign, no inclination at all that it was going to go.
Who's going to get a run out at Moor Farm today in the 1 o'clock kickoff?
Oh, it's good to get Elliot back on the pitch. Elliot Hewitt, Sweens will have a game. Bailey Cargill, Lucas Akins, Carl McAdam. Anybody really who's not been involved. Only been at 1 or 2. Mixed in with some of the under-21s. Owen Mason will obviously play as well and get some minutes under the belt, which will be ideal.
You are getting a couple back then as a couple go into the treatment room.
Yeah, but they're all defenders. That's the problem. It's the other end of the pitch where we're losing people. To lose sort of the 3 or 4 people who sort of just play behind the forwards. with Luke Bolton still being out, and then to lose Regan and Tyler and George Maris. We've got plenty of centre halves and everything. We might even throw one up front.
How does it affect your planning when you're getting these players? Some of these players are not available in the short term.
Well, it affects everything, formations, because we've been playing a certain formation where we've had good options to play sort of behind the striker, and all of a sudden those options are whittled down quite significantly. So we now have to look at formations and everything, whatever we have to do to get us through the next sort of 5 or 6 weeks before they get fit again.
There seems to be more injuries nowadays, doesn't there? I'm not talking exclusively for Mansfield. It seems commonplace across the board. Can you put your finger on why that might be?
No, obviously the game's quicker now and more intense, a lot more sprinting and things like that. Talking to Lee Grant after the game on Saturday, and he said they had a period, they're just coming out of it, where they had double figures injuries. Arsenal have had them, Man City have had them, Liverpool. Every single club seems to have had this run of injuries. Personally, at our level, I put it down to the August schedule, where you do your 5 or 6 weeks pre-season, and then all of a sudden you hit with 8 games in 29 days if you win a cup game. And that's too many at the start of the season. I think that's severely affected us.
Looking ahead to Saturday's match away at Cardiff, they don't come any easier. You play the table toppers.
Yeah, top of the league. And, we knew this run of fixtures was going to be incredibly tough, no matter who we had available. But even more so now. They're going very well at the moment. I think they've got a lovely settled side and they play with a nice rhythm. A lot of attacking intent. So I think we're going to have to be, even if we had everybody available, we'd have to be our best to compete with them. So it's going to be a tough old game for a Saturday. But we've got a good squad. That's the one thing that we've been able to do, I think, better this season is cope with the injuries, with the quality and the depth of the squad. But it'll be severely tested in the next few weeks.
When you did have players out earlier on in the season, you actually came into some really good form, didn't you? You seem to, it may have unified you even more in the camp, perhaps.
Yeah, that can happen. But I think that the significance of the players we've got out and the quality of the players is going to be means that we're down in certain areas, and it all seems to be concentrated in that sort of one area. And we've got lots of options defensively, so we'll just have to get a team to compete and see what we can. Sometimes out of adversity, you can get a result or two. We're going to need to do that in the next few weeks.
You hinted at it earlier. I'm not sure if you were joking or not, but might you have to get some defenders to play further up the field?
Yeah, we never know. If we need to, we will do. We threw Ryan Sweeney up front. We wouldn't start with them necessarily, but they're there as an option. But I think one or two of them could be a nuisance value up there, as defenders can be sometimes. And I think it's happened. We did it with Hawks when he was here. He played centre half and up top as well, and was equally effective. So we never rule it out.